Welcome into the Fit Parent Podcast. I'm Jeff Dalzell. I'm your host, and it's just me today. And this is actually going to be a little bit of a different style of podcast than maybe you're used to if you've been here for a little bit. But I am going to do something that I haven't done in over 100 episodes on this podcast. I have kind of talked a little bit about what it is that I do, but I have never actually said on this podcast what it is that I do and how I help clients. And so that is the goal of this episode. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the typical episode. Should be done in 20 to 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep it brief, but I'm going to lay out exactly who I help, what I help them with, and how I go about helping them. So really quite simple. Who is my coaching for? What is my coaching? So my coaching is in something I call my signature program. My signature coaching program is called the Fit Parent Project. So it is for ideally parents oftentimes with young kids, but I have folks who are older that are, their kids are more autonomous and graduated. And I have some folks who are not yet parents, but are maybe thinking about it and want to get out in front of it. But parents, usually with young kids who want to live their fit life. And I did I did 2 episodes on the fit life, but live their fit life, lose some weight, oftentimes get stronger so they can live their lives strong, confident, healthy, and free to do the things that they want to do with the people that they love, to be able to have no hesitation to physically do it, to emotionally do it. There's no guilt, there's no shame. And what I really try to talk about with my clients is I want to take your last ever before photo. Because by the time people come to me, most of the time they have tried to lose weight several times. They have tried to lose weight and maybe they've been successful in losing the weight, but they haven't been able to maintain that weight loss. Oftentimes people come to me and they have a little bit of an odd or tumultuous relationship with food. And they're in a situation where they are also trying to figure out how they can rework their relationship with food and with exercise and with consistency so that it becomes a part of their life and it doesn't consume their life. And I've said it on the most recent episodes that one of my favorite things and my favorite wins for clients is when this becomes automatic for them. It becomes a default mode for them that they don't really have to think about anymore, that it doesn't take up the same mental bandwidth that it has for years and years. They might have consumed a lot of podcasts like this. They might have tried many, many diets and many, many exercise plans. They might follow a bunch of different people on social media, bought a bunch of different workout equipment and gym memberships, and it's just consumed so much of their brain for so long. And they are looking to break free from that and have it be like all the other things in their life where it's just part of what they do. And so today I want to go through what is the Fit Parent Project and how do I go about helping those types of people lose the weight and, more importantly, keep it off forever. Because losing the weight is only a very small portion of the equation. Because if you lose the weight and you gain it back, you just have to lose it again. And it takes you actually longer to reach your goal, right? If I lose the weight in 3 months and 9 months later, I've gained it all back and I have to lose it again, and maybe that time I lose it for good, it took me 15 months versus if I had just taken 6 or 9 months the first time and never had to go back. Because most people don't just need a weight loss plan. They need a weight loss plan that they never have to go on again. And that's what we're looking to do here, to take that last ever before photo and even go beyond the before and after, change their lives so that they're able to enjoy those things that they love to do with the people they love to do them with. So the Fit Parent Project is really about helping you through 3 core pillars. I'm going to break down each of these core pillars and what that actually looks like. I'm holding nothing back. There is no gatekeeping. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is I do with my clients and how I work with them. So the first pillar is, I will tell you the 3 pillars and then I'll break into these. So the 3 pillars are sustainable nutrition, effective training, and a victorious mindset. So first thing is the sustainable nutrition. And again, a lot of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they make them a common mistake of cutting out all of their favorite foods, cutting out all joy and deliciousness. And the problem with that is at the beginning, you might see some progress, but over time, you fall off and you can't stick with it because it's miserable. It sucks. It's terrible. And that way we end up right back where we started. So with my program, with my coaching, what we're going to do is focus on building you a custom system for eating that's natural for you and fits your lifestyle. We'll make small incremental changes so that it won't feel like you're on a diet, because you're really not. The key is flexibility, which allows you to lose the weight for sure, but more importantly, you keep it off because you're able to actually enjoy all of your favorite foods. Like, I'm never going to tell you that you can't have pizza or a margarita. Half my logo is a pizza, gang. Like, we want to be able to enjoy this. And a lot of people say that they don't want a diet, they want a lifestyle, which is great. But if you try to change your lifestyle all at once, it feels like a diet and you can't stick with it. So what we're going to do, what I do with my clients is we make those small incremental changes. So every week I send out an email for the first 12 weeks. There's really not much more information beyond the first 12 weeks. It's more about execution at that point. But for the first 12 weeks, every week you get an assignment and an action step for some key adjustments to make for that week. So it might be something along the lines of, hey, this week we're just going to take a picture of your food, right? We're going to look at it and we're going to see, hey, we need to add some protein. We need to add some fiber. And again, those are high level, what it is that we're trying to do, but we're going to work forward from the problem rather than backward from the solution. It's not me setting for you, this is how you ought to eat. I'm not giving you a meal plan. I'm not giving you macros or calories, particularly at the beginning. At some point, we might set them, but we're not going to do it from the beginning because I'm not going to tell you this is how you ought to eat, live up to this standard when you're not ready to do that. We are going to work forward from where you are. And so after a few weeks, it might look very different for one client versus another client because different clients have different styles of eating. And so there's going to be a different pace to it. But what my clients always say to me is that over the course of time, it won't feel like you did anything super crazy to change your nutrition, but you'll look back on it and be amazed at how different it looks. And that's how you're able to stick with it for the long term. So again, we are logging your food in various forms, whatever that looks like. And we're going to do one thing at a time. I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to say, hey, give this a shot. We'll see how adherent we can be to that. And then we're going to go from there. And then we're going to go from there. And we're going to build and we're going to build and we're going to build. And at the beginning, none of them are going to feel like I'm asking a lot of you. And that's the point. I want those assignments to feel doable, actionable, almost easy, because then you'll actually do them. And if we stack enough of those simple, small steps on each other, that's how it dramatically changes. And for some people, we get to the point where maybe we want to track or something like that. Maybe some people like that. Some people never do. And it's not a necessary thing. And a lot of my clients are like, hey, which way do you do this? And I'm like, listen, your plan is going to be your plan. And we're going to build it together based on what it is that you're doing. Because there is not one right way to do this. There are a lot of wrong ways, but there's no one right way to do this. And so it has to feel natural for you. Once we get through, we're working on the nutrition piece of it. The next component is the effective training, because again, what a lot of people try to do with their workouts is they come out of the gate way too hot where they're working out. I did this for years. We find some program online that's 5, 6, 7 days a week, an hour or 90 minutes at a time, that's not really built for anybody, or you already have to be in crazy good shape to be able to do it. I'm looking at you, insanity, friggin' Tanya. You're bogus. P90X. Or I used to Google how to look like Chris Evans from Captain America, or Zac Efron from Baywatch. What was his workout plan? And it's just some random dude on the internet with 17 different chest exercises on Men's Health magazine. And we try to do that. And we realize pretty quickly that that's near impossible to do. And it leaves us so exhausted and sore, as not only can we not keep up with the workout program, but we can't even keep up with our kids, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? We want our workouts to be effective, yes, but we want them also to be efficient. We have other things going on in our life, and if it's too demanding on us, that's where we fall off. Is because it's an unreasonable expectation for us to try to do it that way. And so we want our workouts to be effective, but also efficient. Get in, get it done, and get back to the rest of our lives. And so that's how my workouts are structured. I write workouts tailor-made for the person. Some people that I have are working out in full gyms. They're doing 3, 4, 5 days a week with all the equipment in the world. And I have some people doing body weight workouts in 30 minutes during nap time at home, with backpacks with books in them. We can make it work. Tailor-made for where you are, any injuries that you have, your training history, things that you really, really hate, and things that you really, really enjoy. I try to incorporate those as best I can, or not incorporate them, though sometimes you're going to have to do things you don't like. And sometimes you're not going to be able to do things that you do like, because I'm also going to do the things that I know are best for you. And we're going to build your strength. We're going to build your muscle so that we're getting stronger, more endurance, and having more energy for the rest of our lives. So the way that I deliver these workouts is I have a custom coaching app where I can write your workouts. There's videos of me demonstrating the exercises exactly like I would if you were standing right in front of me at the gym. I set up my camera, I hit record, and I talk to the camera exactly like I would talk to you if you were standing in front of me. Hey, this is how you set up. This is what you want to make sure that where you should feel it. This is where your arms should be, not here, but right here. If you're feeling it here, this is how I want you to adjust it. All of those are already in there. I'll set for you your number of repetitions that you do, your rest, your number of sets, the flow of the workout, and it walks you right through it right there. You can log your progress. So you say, hey, I did 8 reps with 20 pounds. And I'll look at that and I'll say, hey, next week, let's try for 9 reps with 20 pounds. And I'll set that projection for you to try to push you appropriately toward the next step. And we're able to cater those so you're doing it whenever you want to, at the timeline that you want to, and we're keeping you on track and supported throughout that whole thing. You can also send me form videos as much as you want. So I have some people who send me form videos for every exercise from every workout, and I will give them feedback on those to make sure that you're doing this correctly. And I've learned, after years of doing this online, some weird cues that I can give you that make sense. Even though I'm not there to physically put my hands on you and correct it, you're able to understand what it is that I'm trying to get you to do. And we're going to build those workouts so you're able to stick with them for the long term. That's the training aspect of things. And before I get to the last component of things, a lot of people ask me when it comes to these things and weight loss, how are we tracking our progress and all of that? So we're obviously tracking how you're doing with your nutrition via the ways that I said. We're tracking how you're doing with your training via the ways that I said. And then we're also tracking your progress depending on your goal, different ways that we do that. But there's opportunities within the app for us to track your measurements, for us to track your weight, for us to track your progress photos. And then we'll get to the qualitative ways that we do this as well, ways that are anecdotally, how are you feeling, and those types of things, energy levels, all of that. But all of that, nutrition, training, all of that's in there. And then just like with nutrition, you're going to get a video every single week in that sort of, for lack of a better word, curriculum email with some strategies for how to get the most out of your training, because we're trying to be as effective as possible with it. So that's going to be in there as well. How do we get a little bit more out of our training? The last pillar of the three is the victorious mindset. And that's where most people fall short, and the accountability and the mindset aspect of things. And of course, that's actually how I'm most involved as a coach, because as we've experienced, most people ride what I call the fitness roller coaster, where they see some progress for a little bit, but then life happens and they fall off, and then they get fed up and they pick it back up again, and back and forth we go. And the problem with roller coasters is you always end up back in the same place that you started. And it's incredibly frustrating when you're trying to do this. And the reason why we ride that fitness roller coaster is most people we try to hold ourselves accountable. So when life happens and schedules get busy, we fall off before things get locked in as habits. We go back to default mode. Or if we do have that external accountability, it's likely a friend or a family member. And that tends to only work temporarily because they have their own life going on. And so they don't pay attention to what's going on for you. Or most people don't want to be your accountability with your health and fitness because it is maybe a more tender topic for some folks. And it also tends to be a little bit of a problem because oftentimes it's a little bit like the blind leading the blind, because most people don't know what the heck they're talking about either. And so you both just end up right off. And not only that, and I think most of you have experienced that, if you don't fully trust that what you're doing works, it's really easy to fall off. Again, I'll say that if you don't fully trust that what you're doing works, it's really easy to fall off because we're not convinced that the process is actually going to get us to the outcome. So why would we keep going if we're not seeing the progress that we want to, especially if it's hard? So here's what I provide to help keep you locked in. And this is the process through which we would go through this. So once you're onboarded, so we would do, if you want to get on a call with me, we do an hour-long breakthrough call is what I call it, where I'm going to ask a ton of questions. I'm going to firmly understand your goals, your hurdles, what is it that you're trying to get out of this, and what has kind of been standing in your way. If at that point I think that we are a good fit and you think we are a good fit to work together, we can talk about what it looks like for you to join the Fit Parent Project. At that point, we say, hey, we're ready to rock and roll. We're committed. We're in. We're invested. Then we're going to schedule a kickoff call for you. It's usually within 24 to 48 hours, unless it's over the weekend. Sometimes we go from like a Friday to a Monday. If we do our breakthrough call on a Friday, we might do the kickoff call on a Monday or Tuesday. But we try to do that as quickly as possible. In between our saying yes in the kickoff call, you'll fill out a couple of forms. One of them is a welcome questionnaire. Ask a bunch of questions about your injury history, your training history, your nutrition preferences, all of these types of things. And then we'll have your kickoff call. On the kickoff call, I'm going to map out with you the initial stages of your training plan, the layers of communication and what that looks like. And I'll talk through those right here, and what you can expect and what I'm expecting of you. So you're very, very clear on the next steps and what your plan is going to look like. From there, each day for the first 4 days, so you have the welcome questionnaire on day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, you are going to get more welcome materials. It'll be take your measurements, it'll be start your food log, it'll be start with your walking, those types of things. Like, hey, these are the first few things that I'm going to have you doing. And we will work through those things together. You'll get those in an email, and they'll also be in the app for you. There's usually videos that you click on and helps keep you on track there. So we have your kickoff call and we're locked and loaded there. From that point, I'll write your workout program. It's usually, we start it usually the next week or as soon as we can. I'll write your workout program. I'll let you know when it's live and you'll ask me any questions that you have on it. Usually it takes us a week or two to kind of finalize what that workout program looks like, because you might try some exercises and you're like, hey, that one doesn't work in the gym, or that one bothers my knee, or whatever it is that we're going back and forth on. We get that all squared away. Then, once you're all onboarded, from that point, every week on a Sunday, you get a weekly accountability check-in form that comes out from me. It comes out in your email on Sunday morning. I respond to them on Monday morning or Monday at some point. Sometimes, I have kids at home or something like that if it's a holiday, but I will get to it on Monday. Sometimes I do them at 8:30 at night after I get everybody asleep, but I will do it on Monday. You're guaranteed a response on Monday if I have it by 7 a.m. on Monday. If I don't have it on Monday, I will reply to the email and I'll say I'm floating it back up. If I haven't got it by Wednesday, I'm going to send you a message to make sure that you're alive. If I haven't got it later in the week, I'm going to call you and I'm going to make sure you're alive. I tell people this all the time. The people who do every single workout but never do the check-in form see less results and are less long-term consistent than the people who have a hard time hitting all of the workouts but fill out the check-in form every single week. The check-in form is huge. It is your opportunity to run towards me and not away from me. That's why I am here, to help coach you through whatever's going on. It usually takes you, depending on how much time, you're putting into it, takes you a few minutes, 5 to 15 to fill out. And then I'm going to respond with a voice note. So on Monday, I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at your portal on my end. I'm going to see what you did from a food and from a workouts perspective. I'm going to read your check-in and I'm going to send you a long voice note. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. Keep it on. Great week. Keep focused. Most of the time it's a couple of minutes, but I've sent some that are 15 to 18 minutes, depending on what's in there and what we need to dig into. And very clearly laying out what it is those next steps are for you. On top of that, we'll do a live coaching call over Zoom as needed. It's usually about every other week. Sometimes it's less frequent. Sometimes it's more frequent. It depends on the situation. And I'm not going to gatekeep the calls from you. But those are opportunity to ask as many questions as you have, get as much one-on-one support as you need. And on top of that, just like with nutrition and with training, you're going to get a weekly video sent to you. This is all in one. So you're getting 2 emails a week from me. You're getting your check-in form on Sunday and you're getting your curriculum, for lack of a better word, your coaching stuff on Monday. Monday it comes out. There's a training video or two. There's a nutrition video or two. There's a mindset video or two with maybe some PDFs to accompany them and some assignments. And those mindset videos are about giving you the tools that you need to eliminate self-sabotage, because that's really what it is, right? We just get in our own way. And that way we can lock this in as a lifestyle and stop riding the fitness roller coaster. And I do all this so you never feel like you're alone in the journey. The accountability and coaching is huge. It's really the glue that holds everything together. So when you're feeling frustrated or you're having a bad day, and it will get difficult and you will have bad days, that's my guarantee to everybody who starts working with me. You can reach out whenever. And that way I'm able to help you break through that within a few hours, as opposed to, I'll get back to it on Monday, or I'll get back to it after the soccer season. And ultimately, that means we get more results in a shorter amount of time because we cut out all the stopping and starting. We cut out the guesswork. We cut out the headaches and the hassle. So you're able to lock it in as a lifestyle, to lose the weight for sure. But more importantly, you keep it off forever and you take that last ever before photo. This is what I do. This is what I do with my clients. This is what I've done for over 5 years online. I have built this program and refined it for 5 years, and it works. My coaching works, and this might sound immodest, but I feel a burdensome sense that if I can help you and I don't tell you about it, then I'm a jerk. And so if you are somebody who you think this would be a good fit for you, or at least it might be worth a conversation with me, then what I want you to do is you can do one of 2 things. I'm going to put my application in the show notes that you can fill out for my website, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and say, I'm ready. And when you're not committed to anything at that point other than let's get on a call. Let's take an hour. Let's dig into your situation. Let's see if this is the right fit. The final thing that I will tell people is this. My goal for you is the goal that a lot of people say, but they don't necessarily want to live. which is a lot of people say they want to do this in a sustainable way. A lot of people say they want to do this in a way that they can keep it off for forever. But then when the reality sets in of like, that means it's going to be slower than anything I've ever done before, it's hard from a mindset perspective to do that. It's hard to, when you're expecting to lose the ways that you've lost in the past when you've done these extreme solutions. And so I say this from the very beginning to people. My goal is for you not to lose the weight as fast as possible. I'm actually lifting the veil to tell you that you are probably going to lose this weight slower than you ever have in your life. But if you do it well, you'll never have to do it again. And I'm going to be straight with you. With the amount of time I think it's going to take you to lose the weight and then learn how to maintain it. And it's going to be probably a lot longer than you think. And so for most people, whatever the time frame I think it is, that's what I'm going to look at us committing to. A year is the most that I do at any one time. But if I think it's going to take you 6 months, I'm going to say we're going to work together for 6 months at least, and then we'll revisit it. Because I am not in the business of having you have to restart again. Because that is, from somebody who did it a lot of times, taking another before photo, starting again, especially if you've tasted it, is almost harder than never having done it in the first place. So if you're in the spot where you have tried and struggled for a long time to lose the weight, and you would really, really like to stop even having to think about this, you would really, really like to be able to focus on the other things that it's nagging you in the back of your mind. Whenever you go out to eat, you feel guilty for enjoying yourself. When you go out with your kids, you're not able to be as fully present as you would like to be. When you look in the mirror, you don't feel the way that you wish you could feel. You walk into your closet and none of the clothes seem like things that you want to wear. And you find yourself wanting to make a change, but feeling a little bit like failure is inevitable because that's all you've ever experienced. It's not. I'm here to help. So if that's you, the 2 ways that you can reach out are to fill out the application in the show notes or send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook and say, I'm ready. Because it's your time. It's your time. Let's take that last ever before photo and never go back. Let's start living your fit life. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.